respects and acknowledge the land on which I am in, this Yagara and Turrbal country through which the powerful, mighty river runs in this city, so-called Brisbane, that I am in. And I invite you to acknowledge the place you are in and to reflect upon its histories, perhaps of violent colonization and invasion and continued occupation. Perhaps you live in lands of your ancestors. Perhaps you are a resistance freedom fighter, a poet, a lover, a teacher, a healer, listening to the land. Let us acknowledge the power and sovereignty of the land, whole and complete unto themselves, of which we are a part. Let us acknowledge the lands that flow through our bloodlines, known and unknown to us. Let us acknowledge that all things are connected and interdependent, and so resistance and work towards liberation requires responsibility. And in that spirit, I wish to share a little bit about myself and who I am and my work. My name is Fio Anegus, or Gede Parma, and I am a witch and a teacher, a mentor and author, a writer, an initiate of the craft, and a cunning person. I define witchcraft as an anti-imperialist, non-sanctioned by empire form of ecstatic sorcery. What brings me great passion and joy in life is to help people who are desiring to know themselves as witch and discovering that this may be something that is a part of who they are, to refine and harness and hone these magical talents and these artful abilities and the capacity to go into lucid states of trance, to enchant our senses and to open to other realms and realms that may also be inside this one. Because, you know, my idea is that the further we go in, the more we go out, and the great spiral dance of things. This is why 11 years ago I decided to start to offer this work publicly, not just within the hothouse of covens or private lineages, but in order to carry some of this work, this skill sharing, this skill refining, these ecstatic containers of power and self-knowing out into the world. And in the past decade, I have taught this work in 5 continents, and it has been my deepest delight in doing so. This work is incredibly dangerous, by which I mean that it changes us irrevocably. It deepens us into potentiality, into things that we may not have been taught we actually hold, into the idea that total freedom is total responsibility, that they imply each other, and that to work towards collective liberation means that we need to look outside of ourselves. Witchcraft is not escapism, it's not fantasy seeking. In fact, it can be very profoundly real. And this brings us to open our eyes and to take the veils away that may have been placed there, or that we may have placed over ourselves, and to look keenly and clearly and to sense and to feel our way through the world. One of my favorite ways of engaging with people is through mentorship work. And usually this looks like a one-on-one or one-to-one engagement. So this could be done through the power of the internet, and also through the power of sound and voice and presence in the same space. So either in person or via distance. And I work in these ways in order to create a container of intimacy and trust and mutual respect, and helping coach people and counsel people on how to strategize and refine, harness and hone, and build a strong, rich practice of spirit work, of sorceress skill, of magical inquiry, so that the people who I work with can leave those 9-month, 13-month, 2-year mentorships and feel like they have more confidence and skill in doing the dance of magic, in calling the spirits, in communicating and negotiating with these beings, in practicing disciplines of purification, of warding, of oracular seership, of divination, and knowing that these skills are very real, that they're not a metaphor for another thing. I also offer tarot readings and tailored spellcrafting sessions or tailored rites of passage for people who come seek out my services. So this could look like sitting down with someone, breathing, aligning our souls, creating a magical container for soul retrieval work, or for the work of communing with the tarot in order to cast omens for the mutability of time and to scry through the mutability of time, to ascertain what are the major patterns and the major pivots and points that these patterns are carrying out in our lives. In all my workshops and intensives, whether they be transpossession, sorceress skill, ecstatic tarot, vital priestessing, I teach from the experience of being a trifold being, which you may have heard as the triple soul. Some of us also link this to the three cauldrons, which are talked about in Irish mysticism and ancient Chinese medicine and Taoist teaching. The fetch, the middle soul, the breath soul, and the holy daemon. So in all that I am offering, in all that I am engaging with in the limitless, I often come back to these three main gates and these three main rivers. My work in witchcraft and magic and spirit work has helped me become more ecstatically embedded in the life force and has helped me open up strong channels and rivers through which that life force can run through me and express as me. Magic can be a way in which we find the strength and internal integrity to carry through that one or three or myriad things that only I can do or that only you can do. This is what we need right now. And so my work up until now and continuing is and has been and will be this work of offering spaces and services and time to help facilitate people touching and being touched by the spirits, the mysteries, magic itself, so that we can come into alignment with our personal gods, with our ancestors, and with the purpose that we continuously weave with every breath, with every choice, with every step, discovering more and more and more our capacity and our ability to serve each other and to celebrate the here and now, and to change what is broken, rotten, and not working, and to catalyze and initiate and instigate new ways of being and new ways of thinking and feeling that have the power to sustain us, and not only to sustain humankind, but to restore and uphold right relationship with the more than human, with the rest of nature, of which we are intrinsically a part.